You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome into another episode of the Locked On Rays podcast. My name is Ulises Sambrano, and on behalf of Kevin Weiss, we are the hosts of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. Make sure to hit that like button if you're on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. You know the drill. We really appreciate every single one of you who supports the channel. And guess what? You can also find us on any audio platform as well. And you can leave a review. You can hit us up with 5 stars. We really appreciate any and all of the support that you can give us. So today, as you can notice, I'm by myself, but not really, because it's a mailbag episode and we've got other voices. I don't have one. I don't have two. I have 3 voice memos for you, and they are one of the best that we have ever received back to back to back. I'm really excited about this. But before we get started, I saw a tweet. And some of you are going to be like, okay, you're beating a dead horse. Fine. I may be. But guess what? I'm gonna. Saw a tweet today by Mark Topkin. And it says, Trout came into play tonight with the highest career OPS at Tropicana Field. A minimum of 100 plate appearances of a 1.082. 1,082 OPS. Yeah. That's the guy that is a cardinal sin to walk. Seems like it would be a cardinal sin to let him hit. That's from my vantage point. But you know what? You guys also have your opinion. Drop it down in the comments. What is the cardinal sin here? Pitching the Trout or putting the go-ahead run at first with the jersey name in the back, Trout, jersey number 27. You have your opinion. Drop it down in the comments. Okay, so let's get started with these audio memos, voice memos. The first one you guys are going to enjoy because it's something that we all might think about, but not that often.
Hey, Locked On Rays, it's Locked On Superfan Jack Voorhees. I just want to say I was watching a Dodgers-Padres game, and I really feel like Tropicana Field, or rather the new field that's to be named, Publix Field, let's call it, really needs an organist. We miss something from not having the live music that comes from a live organist playing along with the game. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't agree with me, but I think we lose something than just having a DJ. It'd be great to have some live music. What do you think? That's my 2 cents. Raise up.
Well, Jack, thank you so much for a great voice memo, a very unique one. BT Dubs, I know I'm not the only one. Dude, you have a great voice. Like, wow, just claps on the voice. Great voice. Organist. I agree with you. You are talking to somebody who loves, adores music. That is only one. If you're on YouTube, you can see a guitar on the back. That is only one of my 7 guitars at home. I've got a drum set, a piano, bass, ukulele, a cuatro. I've got a lot of instruments and I play them all and I really enjoy it. And I am with you. I feel like an organist would be such a cool thing to have at the Trop. Now, thinking back, I do remember a white piano or organ by the Kane Furniture center field area. This was 10, 15 years ago. My memory might be faulty. So if you know what I'm talking about, please drop it down in the comments and help me out there. But I do believe that they had one 10, 15 years ago. I don't know what happened. I think they focused more on the DJ side of things, which is cool. We really appreciate the DJ, and he's really, really good. But I agree with you. I think that would just give it a little bit more, a little flavor, a little baseball flavor. I know that we want to evolve and innovate, but there's something about an organ player that just kind of taps into your music DNA inside you. There is actually, talking about an organ player, if you go to the Tampa Theater in downtown, there's just, I believe it's every Sunday, but don't quote me on that. There's an organ player, and before the trailer starts, he's just banging away at the keys, and it's such a cool thing. It just brings you back to a quote unquote simpler time, and I appreciate that at the Tampa Theater. I would appreciate that at the Trop, but I don't know. Maybe they decided, hey, look, it's too old timey. Maybe people won't resonate with it as much. Look, if they were to bring it back, I would appreciate it. And Jack, I think you too, and a lot of you Rays fans as well. Now, is that maybe because the sound system doesn't really carry that well for an organ player at the Trop? Maybe. If that's the case, would it be the same thing at quote unquote Publix Park at the next Rays stadium? I don't know. But maybe an audio engineer that's fan of the pod and listens to this can help us out and give us some more information on if it carries or not. I mean, you've got concerts and stadiums, so you'd think that wouldn't be a problem. But as Tyler Glasnow has said, the sound system at the Trop is not the best. It does feel a little muffled at times. So maybe that's the reason. Just a theory here. But yeah, I would love it. I think this is a great question. I think it would just give you that different feel for the baseball game. And for those that want to innovate and do modern things and all that, that's cool. But we still do the seventh inning stretch, and it's an old timey song, and we all enjoy it. I think if you're a baseball fan, that's one of the coolest things that we have as a fandom of a sport. It's a seventh inning stretch. No other sport has that. And it's such a cool, neat, swell move that we do as a fandom. We all get up and sing. It's a really cool thing. So it's kind of in line with the organ player. I think that would be really cool. So thank you, Jack, for that awesome, unique question. Next up, let's see what we have on the second voice memo of today's episode. We all think we are young, but chances are if you're listening to this, you're watching this, and you remember the 2008 run, well, it's probably time for us to talk about life insurance. And that's where Policy Genius can help. They can compare options from top companies and their team of licensed experts to help you talk through it. You can talk to a team of award-winning agents who will walk you through the process step by step so you don't miss a thing. And you know what? Your work-life insurance policy may not offer enough protection for your family's needs. Even worse, it may not come with you if you leave your job. So today, check life insurance off your to-do list in no time with Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/lockedonmlb or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. I'll say it again. That's policygenius.com/lockedonmlb. I need to tell you that I'm moving up. I am moving up in the leaderboard of Monopoly Go. Okay. And I'm excited. And you should be excited too, because you can play as well. Okay. This Monopoly Go game has been downloaded over 150 million times. That's a lot of times, folks. Mm-hmm. It's a great mobile twist on the classic Monopoly that you can play anywhere, anytime. You can explore hundreds of Monopoly boards from Las Vegas to Camelot to the moon, all while ranking in a huge fortune. You can charge rent on iconic properties, just like classic Monopoly. You can charge your friends rent on your iconic properties, or you can go after their Monopoly money by pulling bank heists and taking wrecking balls to their landmarks. That is such a cool move. But my favorite part is the leaderboards, of course, where you can see who is a Monopoly tycoon and who is going to go bankrupt. So today, go get yourself on the charts and download Monopoly Go, now free on the App Store and Google Play today.
Hey guys, had a question about a frustration I've had with the Rays for the past years, which is it seems like we don't get enough innings out of our starters year over year. And as a result, by the time playoffs come, our rotation hasn't pitched enough and our bullpen are just gassed. And we just flame out come playoff time. I wondered if y'all were thinking the same thing and what are some ideas that we could do to fix it. Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you first, Tony, for sending that. You are in the fantasy baseball league that we have, so I don't know if you're doing it well or not, but we did have fun chatting it up during the draft. Yes. Short answer is yes. We obviously we noticed it. Some people care about it, some people don't. I think it's just a matter of taste of how you like baseball. Doesn't mean that it's wrong or right. From what you've said, you obviously like a starter that goes 7 deep. You would enjoy a James Shields start. You would enjoy a David Price start going 7, going 8. I think it's the way that, like we talked about a little bit earlier on the first memo, with innovation and getting away from just how things were done. This is the way that the Rays have moved, and it's not only the Rays. A lot of other teams have decided that maybe this is the way to go to keep arms fresh. Now, is it working? Not. You can't say that what the Rays are doing is eliminating injuries. You can't, because we literally have a starting rotation on the IL, literally. So you can't say that what they're doing helps, but could it be even worse if they wouldn't do what they're doing? Could we have not only a starting rotation, but could we have a starting rotation plus 3, plus 4? Maybe. We don't know. But I think it's more of a question of like or dislike. Me personally, yeah, I would enjoy watching a starter going 7 deep. Obviously, that has to be a good start, right? Would you like to see a starter go 7 deep and allowed 5 runs? Obviously not. But it does seem like this year the Rays are trying to elongate those starts. The Eflin, the Civale, and the Littels of the rotation. You can see Littell actually had a career high on Wednesday of 107 pitches. And he got to the 6th inning. So maybe they're seeing something else. The data is talking to them a little bit differently than before. Maybe it's because, hey, we can't tire the bullpen out by June. We can't do that. By the time October comes, the bullpen is just dead tired. And obviously you would like to get some length, not only just because it's fun to watch a starter go deep in the games, but because you need to rest that bullpen. And I know that there's the Durham shuffle that you can always do, and that's fine. But again, it's my matter of do you like that type of baseball or you don't? It's really not right or wrong. I don't think it's like a thing of like this is the right way or this is the wrong way. It's more of like or dislike. I think most Rays fans would fall under the it's not my cup of tea, but they're winning, so I'll take it. I think that's honestly the majority of Rays fans. The other 2 buckets in said pie chart would be I don't like it and I wish they would change. And then the other one is I love innovation. They keep winning. I'm all for it. I think those are the 3 buckets that we have regarding the usage of the pitchers. But yeah, I mean, asking me personally, yeah, I obviously would like to see pitchers go deeper into the games. It's more fun, right? Like I remember when Price and Sabathia would face off before the game, tail of the tape, and who's gonna go deeper, and that was always fun to watch two guys just go head to head without necessarily going head to head, right? Because it's not a Sabathia versus Price thing. It's Sabathia versus Rays hitters and Price against Yankee hitters. But it's just the way of like whose starter is going to be performing better. And I think that has kind of not disappeared, but diluted with this type of new baseball. But, again, I don't think it's a right or wrong way. I think it's just likes or dislikes. Do you like it or not? Again, like always, drop it down in the comments. Do you like this new type of baseball or not? Would you prefer to have starters go deeper? But again, I know we romanticize the past. In everything, we romanticize the past. I think if we had the ultimatum rather, of do you want to go back to the past and have a guy give you 6-7 innings but allow 4 or 5 earned runs, or would you rather have Littell give you 5 innings and 1 earned run? I mean, the matter of how you get the W shouldn't necessarily matter, and I think that's what the Rays have figured out, or at least have been trying to do. And if you think about it a little bit more with these pitching injuries and that are just rampant around the league, could we see a future where there is no closer, setup, long man, opener, starter, where they're all just pitchers? You throw a guy in there, he gives you 3. You bring the next guy in, gives you 2. You bring the next guy in, gives you 3. Another guy, 1. Could that be the future of baseball? Maybe. I don't think anybody in the 80s would have figured that we would be using openers and bulk guys, right? So who's to say that in 20 years, that's what baseball figures out, that, hey, maybe if we rest these guys and just use them 2 to 3 innings, their shoulders are not going to be hurting as much. Their elbows won't get shredded to pieces. So that could happen. And again, no right or wrong. It's just the like. And I feel like with the way that we enjoy the game, it kind of speaks to the baseball that we grew up watching. I grew up watching 90s, 2000 baseball. So I think I was probably one of the lucky last generation that got to see what baseball was about since, for a long time. It has changed dramatically in the last 10, 15 years. And we've seen it change, but I'm lucky that I was able to see Randy Johnson and Greg Maddux and Kerry Wood, Kevin Millwood, James Shields, David Price, guys like that. Oh, obviously Johan Santana. I can name names until I'm red in the face, but you get the point. Like those names, those guys got to 6, 7, 8 innings. I think the last guy that's around is Justin Verlander that could still possibly do that. There are guys around the league, but we are possibly seeing that change into, 3 to 4 innings a piece, maybe 10, 15 years. That's what baseball is going to evolve into. It could happen. Never say never, but I think it's not a matter of right or wrong. I think it's more of a like or dislike in this case. But tremendous question, Tony, and best of luck to you in fantasy baseball, except when you play me and Kevin.
Spring training is over and baseball season is officially underway, of course. So don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your prize picks entries, whether it's strikeouts, RBI, first inning runs. Take your pick of more or less and add them to your Prize Picks entry today. Get in on the playoff action as well with NBA basketball and win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks as you and the world's best players take the game to a new level. Prize Picks has a little something for every sports fan. Baseball, basketball, soccer, golf, hockey, whatever it may be. You can check it all out. So go ahead, download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. So good, I'll repeat it again. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100.
Okay, our last voice memo by Chris.
Yo, what's up, guys? Big fan of the show. I think this is my second voice memo. Yeah, so just letting you guys know I'm really down to do this fantasy league. I think it'll be fun. And got a couple questions for you guys. So what month do you guys actually think we'll see Junior Caminero? And what do you think his season OPS will be? I'm saying around a low 800, high 700 type range. And also, with Aranda's injury, what type of season do you think he will be able to have? Do you think that broken finger will have an impact on his ability to hit high velocity like he had problems with last year? Because I know this spring he really fixed it, but, hand injuries are tough on hitters. And lastly, what role does Shane Baz play when he makes his eventual return after spring? That's all the questions I got. Down for the fantasy league, and can't wait to see this episode.
Well, thank you so much for that, Chris. Again, like I said to Tony, good luck to you in the fantasy league, except when you play me and Kevin. Okay, so let's take one by one. Caminero. I would think he comes up late May. That's because, unfortunately, he did have that little injury scare with the quad running the first. He went on the IL. Thankfully, it wasn't something huge. That could have been nasty, but he had an off day Monday, and I believe he wasn't in the lineup on Wednesday. So maybe they're just taking it easy on him, hopefully. Why would you rush a guy that's supposed to be the next big thing? I mean, do you want to rush a guy that could potentially be your face of the franchise for the next 6-7 years? I don't. Maybe you do. I don't. Take it easy, bro. And by the way, why would I rush that guy in AAA? No way, dude. If anything, I would rush him if it's September and he's been with the team the whole season. Then maybe I could rush him. Because, hey, bud, we need you in the playoffs. We need you. Kind of like what was it? Yeah, Yandy in 2019. He was hurt for the second half, and boom, he came back for that wild card game and goes oppo taco the first two at bats against Sean Manaea. When we were happy and we didn't know it, people. Pre-COVID. What a world. Okay. So yeah, Caminero late May. You need to give him time to really be sure that he's past the injury. He's playing well. And I've said this before with Kevin. I would really dislike the idea of bringing Junior in with the team needing him to be the guy. Too much pressure, man. He's a human dude. He's a human being. Like, sometimes it's best for the young players to feel like they don't have to be the guy. You're seeing it with Jackson Holiday in Baltimore. It's a tough game. The guy shredded through the minors and has begun struggling with his major league career. Now, again, it's 5-6 games for Jackson. I'm sure he'll be fine. But there's an added pressure when you have the top prospect chip alarm. Everybody expects you to be that guy from the get-go, not miss a beat. Ronald Acuna Jr. can do that. Juan Soto can do that. Not everybody can do that. Not even Mike Trout did that in 2011. If you don't remember 2011 when he gets called up, it wasn't good news for Trout. wasn't good news. It's a tough game. So I would not want to bring him to be the savior of the lineup. If you agree, don't agree, write it down in the comments. Do you care? Also, you're going to need to make some moves. And I know a lot of people are saying, Harold. Harold hits, dude. Maybe he's getting a little bit too much playing time right now against righties, and I would completely agree with that take. But he hits, man. He hits. He hustles. And personally, if you hustle, man, you've got me one over. You got me one over. Next question was about Aranda. Jonathan. Yeah, a broken finger. That's, that's tricky because you have to, your grip is so affected by that. Can you grip the bat with enough strength that you can have your swing without any modifications, without any alterations that could, impact in a negative way your production? You get into bad habits to avoid the injury or the pain. And then so you start changing a little bit, and then now you don't have the same pop, the same contact ability. Then you're thinking too much. What am I doing? All of those things can just matriculate because you still have some pain. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully he can produce. We need lefties in the lineup. I mean, we have Austin Shenton, but it's really like we're playing without him because he never gets any playing time. So yeah, hopefully not, man, but you never know. I remember Joey Wendell in 2019 breaking his wrist, and I know it's the wrist and the finger are different, but when he came back, he wasn't the same Joey Wendell after he broke that wrist. But hopefully, obviously, if a finger's different, and he can provide some pop from the left side, because we definitely need that in the lineup. And last but not least, Shane Baz, his role. If all the starters are fine, remember that we also have Tosh. So there's only one spot really in the fifth, as a fifth spot in the rotation. You're not taking Eflin, Civale, Littell, or Pepio. So you're really fighting for one spot. And right now it's been Waguespack, it's been Tyler Alexander. Sean Armstrong has opened a couple of times, not started, but just as an opener. So you have one spot for those two guys, if there are no injuries, which hopefully there aren't. Could you see a move where Shane, in order to watch his innings, he becomes a Wade Davis 2012, a Colin McHugh 2021? Was it 2021? Yes, it was 2021, not 2022. 2021, I think. Could he be that? A 2-inning guy off the pen, you pick your spots with him. The one thing I don't like about that is if you're trying to get him in a rotation type move in the minors, then that would affect them, right? If you bring him just as a bullpen guy. And then what do you choose to use him? Every 3 days, every couple days? And if you start getting into a pattern like that, then you might be in a situation where every time he pitches the next day, you're down an arm in the bullpen. And as we saw on Tuesday night's game, when you had to use basically the entire bullpen because you went 13 innings, might not be the safest option. So barring injury, I don't know, Chris. I don't know. I don't. If you wanted to curb your innings, I think the bullpen is a choice, but maybe I don't think they would go 6-man rotation. You don't want to affect Civale and Eflin and Pepio and Littell's routine. They got it set down. So 6-man rotation is not happening in the middle of the season. Bullpen could be. And could he win that 5th spot over Tosh? I doubt it. But maybe they just play a little bit of Durham shuffle between the two guys. Who knows? It'll be very interesting, though, to see what they do. So that was the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for being part of it. To Tony, to Chris, to Jack. Tremendous questions. please, 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 please keep sending those voice memos. You're part of the show. We've built this community, and you feed it, you nurture it with the comments on YouTube, with the reviews that you leave us on iTunes, on Apple Music, on Apple Podcasts, on Stitcher, on every other audio platform, Spotify. Thank you so much for doing that. We really appreciate it. So keep hitting that like button. Keep subscribing to the pod. We appreciate it. And on behalf of Kevin Weiss, thank you so much for listening to the episode. We hope you have enjoyed it. And stay safe. And we will talk to you on Friday.